We're taking a look at some music news where South African jazz saxophonist and flutist McCoy Mrubata is bringing together music legends for an unforgettable night of music mastery. The all-black intimate session will be happening on the 27th of July in Kimberley and features giants such as Paul Hanmer as well as Mandisi Dyantyis, Mandla Ntlaks as well as Liingiswa March and Ole. This unique event promises to be an evening of soulful sounds. And to share a little bit more on the gathering, we are joined by McCoy Mrubata himself. Good morning. Thanks for your time in the SABC at this hour.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Perhaps you could speak to that amazing lineup and perhaps putting it all together, how you managed to get all those powerhouses to perform.
It is indeed. I wish it was me who put it together. You know, it's a production in Kimberley. So but I'm glad it's all around me, intimate session with me. So yeah, really it is an honor. It's the first one. It's going to be an annual thing going on. Yeah.
And so speaking of which, it's held in Kimberley. And
right,
talk to us about the jazz scene in Kimberley, how this became the venue of choice for this session at least.
Well, I don't have all the answers, but I believe it's quite a thriving. There's the jazz fraternity is great there, and so hence they called us to bring the other guys who come from other cities, like Dyantyis,
Yes. And so speaking of which, the preparation that goes into it, having to select the songs, also creating the correct mood and atmosphere, tapping into the preferences of the audience, the experience that they're going to be garnering. Talk to us about what goes into that ahead of this event.
Yeah, it's a lot of work behind the scenes, in making sure that we cater for everyone, the young ones, and as much as will be, I'll present the stuff from my latest album, which I recorded in the States last year. I'm going to play favorite songs. Already I've been getting emails to say, hey, are you going to play this? So we've been chopping and changing the repertoire because of some people who are asking their favorite songs already. So it's going to be a great one.
Well, we have to give the people what they want. Talk to us actually about that intimate session that comes as a result of playing to an intimate crowd as well versus a big stage. Well, what's the difference for you? What do you prefer as well?
Intimate, it has its own place, because you feel the people, they groove with you, they're much closer, especially when it's a jazz club, setting, So, I do love stadiums and all of that, but it can be tedious sound-wise, but hey, we're good,
All right. I mean, jazz is a way of life in South Africa. It's part of our history, it's part of our freedom story as well. I'm looking at the evolution of it, perhaps also, the new entrants. What makes South Africa's jazz scene and flavor so unique compared to the rest of the world? What are you observing on that front?
Yeah, it has evolved a lot. And thanks to the young ones that are coming up and really spearheading this genre, Yosisonke Counties, Mandisi Dyantyis, Seya Makuzeni, Linda Sikakane, so it's a great one, What makes it special, we try hard to tap into our traditional, various traditions. I come from the Cape. I bring in a lot of kosa, type of thing, and then you get, all the section of South Africa, and then we bring in, what we learn from these great institutions. By the way, they play a big role too in, the standard has gone up, because of the institutions,
Okay.
Yeah, it really
because I actually
well.
wanted to touch on the investments, and supporting the arts, supporting the jazz scene as well. Just given, that it is part of our identity. Do you think enough is being done, or what more could be done?
To really support this genre, we must invite Mackenzie, he doesn't know anything about jazz, let alone music. He admitted himself, Curating, I hope he's listening to me. You need to invest in the arts, You spoke about the super fans and all of that. Focus into the music as well, we mustn't scramble, to go and get, our awards abroad, Support us, give us our own here, So a lot needs to be done, to be honest. Yeah.
And celebrating people whilst they're alive.
Also,
fostering, using as a means to foster social cohesion, nation building as well. It's part of
There you
building our
go.
heritage as well.
That's true. And of course, you played a big role, during the struggle.
Absolutely.
Jazz was the forefront, music that's forefront, of the struggle. So yeah.
And the struggle continues in a different form. New
luta
generation,
continua.
luta continua.
Exactly.
Perhaps growing up, your inspirations, people you would have drawn, inspiration from musically growing up, and really as you look at a favorite memory associated with jazz. I mean, you're from the Cape, so I know
right,
this was a typical Sunday endeavor.
That's right. Yeah. I'm privileged that I grew up, among the greats. The late great Winston Mankunku was my neighbor. So was the late Ezra Ngukana. I grew up listening to them, and they showed me the way. So I learned a lot from these greats, and of course the records from my mom's collection, my aunts and uncles, of the John Coltrane's, overseas artists also played a big role in my jazz upbringing.
Well, the language of music is universal.
True.
In a very just as we wrap up, going forward, your legacy at large, what you also wanted to perhaps when you started evoke and bring forth to the scene. How you've managed to achieve that. What's your take?
I try to be consistent with what I do. To this day, I still practice. My neighbors can attest to that. I'm serious with my craft.
Yes.
And of course, with the technology, I try to do things online as well. And be not necessarily I want to be relevant, but hey, I have to go with the times, Yeah.
Well, the nature is about evolving, inventing, relearning, unlearning, learning.
Exactly.
It's a circle of life.
Yep.
McCoy, thanks for your time at this hour. We're going to leave the conversation there.